Jackson doesn't hate British people.
I love them.
We're back. Potty Talk. We got Kadin in the building. Welcome, Kadin.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Another trader bro. Surprise. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Kadin, who you are, what you're about.
Alright, well, I'm Kadin. I work with my buddies Jackson and Brian right here over at the legendary Trader Host. I go to school at Cape Fear right now. I've been doing this health science pathway. Am I about it? I don't know. That's okay.
Yeah.
I grew up in Wilmington for the most part. I'm from California. Love to just hang out with my friends and beach it up and do kind of everything in between.
Good place to be.
Yeah.
I feel like in life and geographically, like from California, I like to beach it up out here.
Yeah.
Can do it both ways.
Life's a beach. I don't know.
Okay, so I forget. Maybe we've had the conversation about like health sciences before, but like that's not something I like know about you. So you say you're in it, not totally about it, but
yeah, it's something where when I started college, it was kind of just getting all the prereqs out the way. It was fine. It was easy. Honestly, I got really bored, and I was like, I want to change it up. Health science, I'm like, seems interesting. I kind of am about it, but not to the degree that I kind of expected it to be.
okay.
And now I've been taking these classes for a year or so, and they're interesting. They're hard. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think after a year of this, I've kind of think I'm ready for a change. Not to shoot myself in the foot, but just kind of realizing maybe that's not my whole thing.
Okay, sure.
At least you like figured it out now.
Yeah.
Not after you got that little piece of paper.
Yeah, but also I feel like health and health sciences, like that's a good thing to know. Just like
for sure,
know, like you're gonna keep your body healthy, hopefully for decades and decades.
Yeah.
You
so
go to the gym like every day, a couple times a day.
But no, maybe finish up my associates in that and then move on to something else. Or even I was thinking like a trade. Like I had an offer to be an apprenticeship under an electrician, which I never really thought about that. But thinking about it,
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
could be worth a shot.
Yeah, it's definitely worth considering.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I like that. And yeah, even though I have a couple college degrees, I occasionally think about like, I'm gonna go to Cape Fear. I'm gonna like start learning plumbing, learning carpentry, just like do stuff with my hands, and like kind of be able to take care of my own stuff. Like if things break down.
You can be a handyman.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna jump to some scripted questions that we try to ask every guest. And I'm curious, Kadin, how do you like to toast your marshmallows?
You know what was so funny? Right before I came in here, I was browsing on your channel a little bit, and I saw Emma answer that question about the whole eating the char and sticking it back in.
Yeah.
That's what she said. I'm kind of I just stick it in the fire, and I let it just get nice and charred, and it's perfect.
My man.
I think that's what it's all about. You just put it on some graham crackers with some chocolate.
Okay.
Get a little crunch, and then it all just like spews out.
Okay. The Charizard s'more. Okay.
Yeah, the Charizard.
Yo,
I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's tough.
Fascinating.
That's always been the way. My friends, ever since being a little kid, they'll be like just kind of rotating it over the fire, getting them nice golden brown. And I'm like, one, you're taking too long. Two, that's not even that good. Just stick it in the fire.
Okay.
Melt it.
Yeah. I don't like the carbon, like the ash in like my mouth. I'm like, I don't like this.
So what kind of mallow guy are you, Brian?
I'm like a golden brown toasted, like slow turn.
At least you're patient.
You guys have like 30
That's
years
nice.
to do it. But you could write a book by the time you're done cooking it.
I mean, it could be 30 seconds. It doesn't have to be 30 years. It's
30 seconds, I've already done and eaten it.
Okay. I mean, again.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Jackson.
Yeah.
But back to Kate's point, it's could be a patience game.
You play the long game, we play the short game.
I guess again, I don't like just like the carbon ash like in my mouth.
And maybe that's a fault on us. Maybe we're just not patient people.
Yeah.
We're rushing through life.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
We're gonna be old and crippled before we know it.
Oh.
Yeah. Enjoy the youth while we have it.
The youthful springfulness.
Yeah. All right, Jackson, you got our
All right,
question
I'll
number
take
2.
it away. Number 2. This is Brian's question, but I'm asking it.
Sleepy Jackson, you okay?
Yeah. Just had to catch my mind. What's the meaning of life?
You got anything for us,
What's
Kate?
the meaning of life?
Yeah. I mean,
this, honestly, I couldn't tell you, but this is like some of the stuff, if I'm ever, let's say, indulging in some some greenery.
Yeah.
I start
that's
thinking about this stuff, and sometimes it freaks me out a little bit.
Yeah.
And other times I'm like, whoa, what is going on? I don't, you could say it's be happy. For me, I'd love to be happy, have a family, do all that jazz. But for everyone, I think it's going to be different. My meaning of life, I don't even know if I have a meaning to life. I'm just trying to, like I said, be happy. If I'm going to put a meaning on life and follow this like direct pathway, I just feel like it's very like preset in stone. Like doesn't leave much up for change. Because if that was the case and that's the meaning of life, why would I veer the other way? I need to stay on that meaning.
Yeah.
So I think I don't have a direct meaning of life. I'm kind of just doing what I do. And whatever happens is going to happen, and that's what life is going to be, like good or bad.
It's like a bag of chocolates.
You
I
never
like
know
that.
what you're going to get. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there's like patience in your answer of like, I'm just living my life, doing the process, like day by day.
Unlike the marshmallow.
Because like I admire like all the kids I went to high school with and in college now, they have this very like direct pathway of, oh, I'm going to do this, get all these credits, go to this school, then go do this and have this as my job. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Like I wish I could be that way, because ever since like middle school, high school, even now, like friends, family asking me like what I'm going to do further on, I definitely am going to do something, and I'm going to look out on all these opportunities I get, but I've never been one who have like a very direct pathway of this is what I'm for sure doing. I'm going to go to this school, I'm going to get this job, I'm going to do this and that and the other.
Yeah. Okay. But you're at peace with that, I feel, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I'm not upset over that.
Right. Yeah. So if you don't mind me spoiling for the audience, Kadin just turned 20,
I did.
which is part of why we wanted to have you on like at this time, around this time, because was that 2 weeks ago you turned 20?
That was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Okay.
Yeah.
So teenage years in the can, and they're done.
Gone.
Out the door.
And now we've had, a couple of weeks to like, let that pass, and like we're on to the next chapter of like the 20s is an actual decade. Teenage years are not a decade. It's like 7 years,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, 7 years.
But yeah, so even though you are 20, freshly out of your teenage years, I do feel that you have, like a patience, a peacefulness about you, and like a certain perspective that I think is a bit surprising for someone your age.
Appreciate it.
Like a certain wisdom. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I'm not one to toot my own horn, but I kind of feel the same way. Like, compared to some of my friends, I feel like, not trying to love all my friends, not trying to call them out, but some are a little sporadic, where I feel like I'm kind of like the level-headed one of the group, the one who doesn't really freak out, and I feel like I can give a lot of that, or take a lot of that from family, whether it's like parents, grandparents, friends, hell, coworkers, just hearing everybody's experiences and trying to like get that through my mind and see like what the most logical thing is to do.
Yeah, you're a good listener is something I've kind of tuned into lately. So yeah, I appreciate you chatting with us. And since you mentioned family, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about family.
You and I are similar, I believe, in the same way of we're both the oldest of 3 boys, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So how has that experience been for you? 2 young brothers.
Man, I love my little brothers, but we're all a pain in each other's asses. At least we used to be. So I'm 20. We all have birthdays within like about 3 weeks.
Oh wow.
So I'm 20. My middle brother, he turned 16 like a couple weeks before me. And my youngest brother just turned 13 2 days after me.
Okay.
He's a low squirt.
But he's huge. My 13-year-old brother's like 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. But anyways, besides that, so me and my middle brother growing up, like from a very young age, we kind of had that age gap to where it leaves just enough room to like bicker with one another.
Yeah.
So from a young age, we're always like fighting, and he has a grudge against me, and I think he's annoying, and this, that, and the other. And Gavin, my youngest brother, is just like a little sweetheart. And I'd say like how we all line up like siblings is I'm the goofball. Like I like to have fun. I like to play around. I don't really I'll take things seriously when needed, but like offense wise, like talking crap and all that, it's all just like brush it off. It's whatever. We're just playing. Middle brother, The kind of stereotypical middle brother, emotional, hard-headed, thinks he's right, always has it tough. It's kind of funny to watch, but he's still like one of my best friends. Like I love hanging out with him, but sometimes we butt heads and he gets pissed at me, and I'm just like, man,
Right.
I just really don't care.
What's his name again?
My middle brother's name is Elias.
Elias, right? Okay.
And then-
Shout out to Elias. What up, bros?
Yeah.
Gavin, shout out.
Shout out to all the brothers.
Matt and Adam, shout out. Those
Yeah.
are my brothers.
Okay, Matt, Adam, Elias, Gavin. You know, we're all one and the same in a way or another.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Gavin, you know, me and him have that age gap at this point to where I've kind of done some growing to realize maybe I did treat Elias a little poorly at times. I need to mellow it out.
Yeah.
But, you know, I still can be a total jackass, and it happens.
Yeah.
And so can the rest of them. But he's a sweet little kid, very, like, innocent-minded. Always just been like, you can't not get along with him. He does no wrong. So there's that, but he's growing up quick, and they're all growing up quick. Like, I remember being Elias's age, like a junior in high school, him in middle school, and now I'm out of my teenage years, and he's the junior in high school, and Gavin will be in high school in no time. It's weird.
Right. Yeah. You just turned 20. He just turned 13. It's like a fascinating transition.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hearing you describe some of those dynamics of like, yep, I know that. Like, yep, I've seen that pattern or that, behavior or whatever. That's so funny.
What were you and your brothers like?
Pretty similar in that, like, we have a similar age range.
Mhm.
We're all like 3.5 to 4 years apart. I think between me and Matt, the middle brother, is 3.5 years, but then Matt and Adam is like 4 years.
So, yeah, about the same.
Right. We were born in 90, 94, and 98.
Okay.
And yeah, just like Adam is the youngest, and he's bigger than me and Matt. Like clearly, he's the football player. Yeah, shout out Adam. I think he's actually got pro day tomorrow with the Air Force Falcons.
That
Yeah,
was pretty cool.
yeah. So
That's gonna be tight.
yeah, and I think we're supposed to air this episode tomorrow, right? Yeah.
So how old is Adam now? 24?
Adam he just turned 25. Matt and Adam both just had their birthdays. Yeah, they turned 25 and 29. Yeah.
And then Adam's the one that plays Fortnite.
I don't think Adam plays Fortnite. Matt's was the one on streaming.
That's the one them connected with, right?
Yeah. Matt's the money man, the businessman. But he and I butt heads quite a bit when we were younger. Yeah. I mean, also like the divorce like plays into that a lot.
You got divorced?
No, our parents got divorced.
Oh.
Your parents are together, right?
My parents have been together.
Yeah. And they love each other, you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
They've had their ups and downs, but they're all good.
Yeah, nice.
It's like 21 years or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, beautiful.
You're all right.
What's that?
My whole life? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they met each other, and before you know it, like, my mom's pregnant with me. And that's crazy to think about, because my mom at 19 was pregnant with me.
Oh, wow.
And marrying someone 10 years older than her.
Okay.
So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so by the time I'm being born, she's 20, my dad's 30. They're pretty freshly married, like not even a year in, just a handful of months in. And it all worked out great. It's just weird to think about. Like, I could not imagine marrying a 30-year-old lady and having a kid on the way right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because, like, that is a different dynamic.
Yeah, for sure.
But it is, like, that is, like, possible.
Yeah.
So, like, that's a...
But to your point, for sure, you always, like, I feel like a lot of younger women are going for older men, and older men are going for younger women.
Yeah.
And not in a weird way, but that's just kind of like how dynamics will fall into place sometimes. Not that 20 and 30 is saying a 30-year-old man is a very young man. It's not an old man. It's just saying sometimes things fall into place like that.
Right. No, thinking about a 20-year-old and a 30-year-old, like, is a fascinating, I don't want to say conundrum, because, like, I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. It could be a bad thing, but it doesn't always, it's not always going to be a bad thing. But that age gap of 20 to 30, and then if you kind of, like, switch the parts of, like, who's the younger, who's the older, because a 30-year-old woman is still a young woman, too.
For sure.
And, like 30 is young, but, like, 20 is, like, much younger.
Oh, yeah,
and
like,
it's
still a kid, pretty much.
Right, yeah, it's like a crazy kind of, again, if you just like kind of switch out the variables of each one, it's like, oh wow, these are fascinating like social dynamics to consider. But your parents met in California, I assume?
Yeah,
or-
they met in San Diego where they were both living, and my mom was a waitress at a sushi bar, and my dad had came in with some of his work buddies.
Okay.
And apparently it was kind of just like a love at first sight sort of deal.
Okay.
What they were talking about, and before you know it, she's coming over to hang out, and they start hanging out, and soon enough she's pregnant, and I'm on the way. And
Right.
that's just how it worked.
Wow.
And I think what my mom said, it would have worked out like that if my dad wasn't the age, and like the age he was, still 30 is very young, but he's been working, he had a job, and he supported them, and just he had that stability of being a 30-year-old man versus a 20-year-old pretty
Right.
much like kid.
Yeah. And that's a fascinating thing to think about, because you're right, like 30-year-old man is young, but probably has enough experience to where it's like, we need some stability, we need to, just have some, like
They
there's,
know how to run their life.
yeah, generally, especially probably back then, I don't know,
Yeah.
I feel like we've had this delayed kind of development and delayed adolescence, like, over the past several decades, that's
Sure.
like getting more and more delayed. Like sometimes I see like 40 and 50-year-olds that legitimately look like they might be in their 20s.
Yeah.
Which on one hand it's like cool, good for you, but on the other hand it's like, let it go. Like we need to like learn how to age gracefully.
Yeah.
And we had a I think with Brienne we said like legalize aging or something. And that's like, yeah, I don't know. And one of the homies, you remember Justin, right? Big Beard Justin. Did you work with him?
Wait, like roller skating, Justin?
Yeah.
Was he on here or something?
He wasn't on here. Yeah, hopefully he comes back. Justin, we would love to have you as a guest. But he watched the short of like legalize aging, and he's like, "Oh no, Wilmington ain't woke enough." He's like,
No, but it's kind of sad sometimes as you look at these. I feel like I see it more in older women, probably like the 50 to 60 range, where they're doing all this stuff to pretty themselves up, which is fine. And I'm not saying like you get old, you're not pretty anymore, but like some of the times it's drastic measures like facelifts and plastic surgery and all this
Right.
stuff. It gets to a point where it's just like you gotta let it go. Like you're only hurting yourself at this point.
right, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm all for celebrating beauty.
Yeah.
Like true beauty, we should celebrate it. We should like think about it and consider like what it means. Because I'm not even sure. Like it's a weird thing of like, why are we attracted to certain things?
Right.
It's like, does it say something about us? But yeah, just with just so many artificial things in our lives, whether it's artificial appearances or artificial intelligence, like it's like, we got to stay on the rails a little bit. We need that stability, guys. Let's make sure we're
Keep things old fashioned.
yeah, exactly. It's interesting how like tradition, like a lot of traditions like stay in place because like we need them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like sometimes they get outdated, and it's like, reconsider them.
A lot of them have gone out the window.
Right, and it's, I don't know, it's crazy.
Jackson, how long have your parents been together?
5 years from the time I was born.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I guess 28 years, going on 29.
You're saying your age plus 5 years
Yeah.
is what it is. Okay.
Now that your parents got together when you were 18?
That would be
Your parents got together when you were 18. Oh, jeez.
yeah.
So wait, were they married for 5 years before you were born? Okay,
Yeah.
so they've been together probably longer than that. I don't imagine they got married immediately, did they?
Sort of.
Ooh.
So they met. We're all from Chicago, and they met in between a mutual friend, Uncle Doug, and he
Uncle Doug,
introduced.
nice.
He's
Love that.
cool.
Shout out, Doug.
Yes.
Shut up, Mr. Doug.
Shout out Uncle Doug. So they got married, or they met, and then they, went on dates, I guess, from what I understand. And then I guess they were flying out, I think to California is what I recall. And then on the flight there, they had been dating a couple months. They were like, let's get married. So, but then, and they got to California and they were going to do that. And then I guess that you might know better than I do. I don't know Cali that well. But I guess you can't get married, like the churches are closed on Sunday, or one of the days, the day they got there it was closed. So then they're like, all right, let's just reconsider this. Like let's not just because, Grandpa probably wouldn't have been too happy, like just, oh yeah, by the way, we're married,
Yeah.
like just come back from California and they're married. So, they decide to plan out their wedding and stuff.
Okay, but this is still like a few months.
Yeah.
They started thinking about it a few months in.
Mm-hmm.
All right, when you know, you know.
I guess.
It's funny you talking about your grandpa being mad. My dad met my mom's mom for the first time over the phone, telling her that he's going to be the dad of her child.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And they get along great.
And they
I don't know
probably
how
can
it was
FaceTime.
at first.
That was your dad calling your mom's dad.
My mom's mom.
Your mom's mom. Okay.
Yeah. My mom's mom relationships never, they were a little on and off for a while. There was a couple, I think, trial runs.
Between your mom and grandma, or
No, between my grandma and a couple husbands she had.
oh,
And then I don't know how it went between my mom and her dad her stepdad, I guess it would be, who has stuck around, my grandpa pretty much,
Okay.
who's awesome. I never heard that stuff, but I just kind of laughed hearing that for the first time, being like, yeah, I never met your mom's mom until I was calling her to tell her that she's pregnant with my kid.
Okay.
Hmm.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
Be an interesting conversation.
Yeah,
And this was on the phone,
on the phone.
Not even FaceTime.
right? FaceTime was a dream, dude.
Yeah.
FaceTime was a cartoon science fiction on the Jetsons.
Yeah.
Yeah, call 'em up on
Actually,
the-
no. I guess shit. I forget. You were born in like 2002, right? 2003. Yeah.
They had Skype, I think, back then, right?
I mean, maybe. I have no
Yeah.
idea, dude. Like,
I don't think my parents were that modern. My parents have always kind of been not the most modern people.
okay, yeah. Yeah. Jeez, wow. Time warps.
Yeah. We go back 20 years real quick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, how about 40?
Yeah,
Well, I wasn't alive.
Oops.
Oops.
too far.
Skipped us.
Skipped everybody. Yeah. Wow. I love the tentacles of our conversation because
Yeah.
I like to go back and loop them in and be like, oh, let's get these ones, but there are loose ends we're not going to be able to gather.
No, we got too much
So,
going on already.
I remember a couple loose ends you've gathered in before.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll bring it up later.
All right. Were we on? We were talking about family, and
We
we've
were
been rolling
talking
with
about
family for a
yeah.
while. We'll come
Health
back.
science.
Health science.
We were
That's
talking
right.
about that.
Oh, maybe
Talked
go
about
over your
siblings.
gym routine. That would be cool.
My
Yeah.
gym routine.
Love to hear it.
Go over. I mean, I've been doing. Okay, so let's just take it all back. I started getting into going to the gym probably in high school. COVID hits, all that stuff closes out. I can't go to the gym. Then I have a really close family friend who has his own gym. I'm not that close with him. My parents are friends with him. He starts inviting me over because he's got a garage gym. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty intimidated. I'm like 16 or something, going over to this grown man's house, but dude's like 15 at heart. Like he's 40 at this point, acts like 15. Like we'll bro down and it's so much
Okay.
fun. But we start hanging out and we'll shoot the shit and work out, and before you know it, I'm getting my ass absolutely whooped. Like these first few months, I was hating it. Also, I'd just gotten into my first serious relationship, so I want to start spending all my time with my girlfriend at the point.
Yo.
And
Was that the volleyball girl?
mhm.
Oh no. Okay. I don't even know her that well.
And-
Whatever. Hope you're okay out there. Whatever.
So I'm wanting to spend all my time with her, and he's like, "Yo, come over. Don't be a bitch." And I'm just like, "All right." And we were doing that for a while. Me and my old girlfriend, we break up, and I'm like, this sucks. So I just go back to hanging out with, his name's Matt. I go back to hanging out with Matt all the time, and we're working out and throwing down. It's a whole lot of fun. Again, shooting the shit, talking about chicks, talking about heartbreak. And at the same time, I'm getting in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
It feels good. And COVID's still going full blast, so we're also doing that. We're at work at the time. Work's weird. We have that big old line going on. It's just weird
That was
times.
goofy.
But gym stuff, we're probably going at it solid for a year, pushing to at this point. And I move out of my parents' house into an apartment, and he gets busier with life, work, and everything, and we don't really see each other. So I've been kind of doing my own thing for a bit and trying other things out, and I'm still having a good time. It's not as fun gone on my own. I'm not gonna lie, I like having a buddy to do that shit with.
Right.
But you know, it's something I enjoy. It's kind of like, as much as it is physical, I feel like it's mental for me. Like, totally puts me in a better place after I do all that or during it, especially if I'm struggling with something, whether it's like school, life, girls, whatever. Like, helps out.
When you say you're doing your own thing, is that like, are you going to a gym by yourself, or are you just
so my apartment actually has a pretty nice gym, and I go there on my own. I'll bring a friend every now and then if they're over and they want to go, but I just go do my own thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm totally with you on like the yes, exercise is a physical endeavor, but it's important for like keeping your mental health right.
Yeah. There's a lot of endorphins being released.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, like, you know, I'm not totally sure like where it aligns with like spiritual health or, you know, like whatever, emotional health. Like, I don't know if that's like a subset of mental health and like other things, but it's like, there is something meditative about you just being like 1, 2, you know?
Yeah. Or it can be a lot of other things. Like, I'm sure like riding your bike feels the same way. I want to get a bike again because I loved riding my bike, and like, I feel the same thing about surfing. Surfing brings a ton of endorphins. Totally like clears my mind when I'm out there, and it's a ton of fun. I think all that stuff's a lot of fun, so I just enjoy doing it.
Yeah. How long have you been surfing?
I mean, I started learning probably when I was like 12, and I didn't really get it till I was like 15, probably.
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm like super good by any means. Like, I can do it fine, and it's just more like it's a hobby. Like, it's really fun. I'm not doing competitions or anything, but I really enjoy it. I love going out with friends and family and doing all that stuff, staying out there for hours. It's just nice.
Yeah, nice. Love that. All right. I don't think you've gotten to your gym routine, though.
My gym routine? Okay, well, I do, I've just been doing, like, push-pull legs. And if you don't know what that is, it's a lot of, push is, like, a lot of, like, chest and shoulders, pulls, like, back and your arms, and then legs is legs. And trying to do that twice a week. So, like, push-pull legs, rest, push-pull legs, rest. And sometimes I like to mix it up, do different things, experiment. All the above, got to keep things interesting because, you know, going through the same thing every time. It's still fun, and it's hard work, but, you know, got to mix it up. It's nothing too exciting.
Got to mix it up. Yeah, I don't try to do something new every time, but, you know, I'll try to do, like, different sequences. And then every now and again, it's like, just go to some machine or some, like, area you've never done before and just, like, figure it out and just, like, do something new.
But gym stuff gets really addicting when you start seeing progress, whether it's, like, your body changing or you're, like, putting up new weight, whatever. Like, it's totally, like, you kind of crave to just improve on that stuff. And when you don't, it really sucks.
Yeah, that is funny. Like, I can almost consider it like the video gamification.
For sure.
Where it's like, numbers, codes, it's like, level up.
Yeah, you're leveling up every time.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
And it's kind of funny talking about all of that because, like, I feel like there's a certain stereotype behind, like, the gym bro. And it's pretty douchey, I'm not going to lie. It's kind of funny, though. But if you can wipe that out and just be like, listen, there's just plenty of, like, and I feel like doing, like, all this gym health stuff has gotten really trendy, actually, over the past few years. Like, there's a lot of influencers.
Right.
Which is good. I mean, it's better than being fat.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of funny to think about because I enjoy it so much, but then you look at, like, the stigma behind it, and I kind of, like, cringe at it. I'm just like,
Yeah. I mean, again, like, for me, it's, like, about health.
Yeah.
You know? I'm not totally into, like, the gym influencer stuff, but I see it.
You don't feed the hype.
Yeah, I mean, just like I don't like buy into it, but I do watch some videos.
Sure.
Just because like I think they're interesting, especially if it's like a short, like a 40 to 60 second thing. So I'll watch that. So like I don't know so much about Joey Swole, but Joey Swole's.
You know who that is?
Yeah, I mean he's just a bro on the internet. Like, come on.
He's like
he's big culture, man. He's like
big culture. He's trying to make a change. He's trying to make sure nobody's getting bullied.
Right. See, and like I appreciate him for that.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
What little I do know of him, he seems like a good guy. Because, like, yeah, he looks like the stereotypical gym douche. But he's like, nah, dude, we're here to be inclusive. We're here to, like, you know, spread the good health and, like, help uplift people.
It's like, I can be roided out, but I can help you out at the same time.
I can be roided out and I can help you out, dude. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Oh, jeez. Yeah, so... I got back in the gym about a year ago. I think it was like mid-February of 22, and like I think that was like one of the best things like of my year was like that, making that change. Like my mental health and emotional health, I think has been way better since my physical health has been getting better. Because like I was starting to have like weird problems with my hips and like legs, and it was like, yeah, dude.
Like lack of flexibility.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, you like COVID. You've been sitting down too long. Like, sure, you go for bike rides, and like, I've been like doing push-ups, pull-ups, like certain calisthenics. But it's like get back in the gym. It's 22. Like we've been vaccinated for a year now.
Right.
Like, gyms are open. Yeah, like $10 a month at Planet Fitness is not a big expense. No. That's like my only subscription, really. So it's like, yeah, it's worth it.
Free.
Why free? I don't think Planet Fitness is with Joe's.
It's not.
Anyway. So I encourage everybody, like take care of yourself physically, and you will feel better, I think, mentally and other ways as well.
You gotta find a way to make some of these physical things into a hobby. It doesn't have to be the gym. It can be something like taking a walk. It can be, you could get into like a rock climbing if that's your thing. There's all these sorts of physical activities, and if you just make it fun and you make it to where you enjoy yourself, it's not a hassle to go on the side. It's like it's something you look forward to doing all the time.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like I've been trying to like step away from alcohol a little bit, not like quit, but just be like,
tone it down.
Yeah, tone it down. Like monitor my drinking and like only drink if I'm like truly celebrating something. But like there's so many like drinking and running clubs, like drinking and bicycle, like it's like you said, it's like a hobby of just like, we meet on Mondays, we run a mile, and like we end at a brewery and we have a pint.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
A pint, dude. That's a drink.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it's more than 12 ounces, but it's not that much.
No.
Like when you order the regular glass, out of that's a pint. Yeah.
I thought those like big like.
Nah, those might be quarts. Sometimes they're liters.
The Das Boot.
Das Boot, I think, is generally a liter. Yeah.
But like the people in England, bringing them back.
So
like hey, give me a point.
I love that you're bringing us there because there is some dispute about, I think, English, British, whatever, across the ponders want to call it. But their pint, I think, is more than an American pint. I think theirs is like 20 ounces and ours is like 16 maybe.
Which, that's weird because America is usually like the country that does everything in like kind of a gluttony fashion. Like it's always way more.
Right. Yeah, that is funny to think about. But yeah, they love their booze. Like, it's funny how America, like, big drinking culture, but also like so many European countries like out-drink us so hard.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I think more of us has to do with like food, especially like fast food.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've watched like some documentaries like through school or something, but like maybe just on my own. But they'll like show the same product, and I think a big thing was it was in Japan versus America, and Japan was very much. I guess like toned down. I'm trying to find the word for it. Oh, moderate. It was everything was in a lot more moderation than the kind of indulging nature of America.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the mac and cheese we got, the reduced guilt versus the red box one. Like it's the same exact product, just a little bit less in the reduced guilt.
And it's so funny, if people would just realize that, they could buy the regular one and just save some for later.
That's what I'm saying. I literally told a lady that. Like, I was getting so angry with her. She's like, you guys are out of this. And I was like, it's the same thing. And she was like, but you guys are out of the red one. And I was like, no, like, it's the same exact thing. It's just less. She's like, yeah, but isn't it different? I was like, no.
We're just ripping you off.
Like, I was like, there's just less for more. Like, I just...
It's funny because when you move the boxes, like the reduced guilt is so much lighter.
Oh, yeah,
it's just way lighter. It's just like, all right, yeah.
It's like a little piece of plastic in there. It's like, where's the cheese? Where's the mac?
Where's the cheese?
Yeah, man, bunch of idiots.
Oh wow, Jackson's low on humanity right now. Jackson out here, thumbs down.
Not a fan of the Joe customers right now. Never.
Just kidding. Jackson loves them. Come see Jackson in his smiling mug.
Don't fire him.
Don't fire Jackson.
Only big moves from here.
Yeah, exactly. We're trending up. We're growing. We're accelerating.
Yes.
What happens on Poddy Talk stays on Poddy Talk.
Exactly.
It's going to be used against us in a court of law.
See, that's why I
No.
don't swear. I keep it. I keep it kosher around here. I'm the kosher corner.
Yo, I love that you brought us there because I told Kadin I might call you out.
Again.
Yeah, so I accept that you don't cuss on the podcast. I haven't checked out the footage to prove and verify that that's
I checked
true.
in my memory bank.
But I accept that you probably haven't cursed while we've been rolling, and I have, probably a few times an episode.
A few times today.
I'm not worried about it really, because I am authentically being myself. And while I'm not saying that you are not authentically being yourself,
Shots fired.
you do curse.
A lot.
You curse a lot. You.
Karen, he doesn't curse. He doesn't curse.
Okay, I'll put the lid on my container of Jackson call out for the day. Sideline it. Cause
We'll table that.
yeah, we'll table that conversation because apparently, yeah. Anyway. So I'm glad we stumbled into that nice little
I don't
moment
know
there.
if I am.
But also, I want to talk about the fact that we all survived yesterday.
What was yesterday?
Yesterday was Monday after UNCW got back from spring break, which I am now calling Horny Monday.
Horny Monday.
What happened
Horny
then?
Monday.
Yeah.
That's a good Monday.
That's a good Monday. So I don't know. I'm calling it that because last year, the first Monday after UNCW spring break, it was just like a weird day. And I was like, there was 1 hour on register where I was ringing people up, and it was like sunset, coming in, and weather's warm, and all the kids are back from spring break. And just like everyone who came in through my line was like some level of horny.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, it's spring and spring. And
Having to flirt off with you.
having a flirt off, or just, even if it's not with me, it's just like I was seeing it, just like the electricity in the air. And like yesterday didn't have like quite that energy as it did last year, but it was, you could tell it's like, oh, the kids are back, like we're ready. Maybe it's not 80 degrees like it was a week or two ago, but like spring is coming. Like,
It's so funny when you mention that. When we were walking into the library, there was this girl that walked in right beside us, and I had seen her in Trader Joe's a lot, and she's flirted with me a number of times. And back when I was having my tender moments for a bit,
Tinder?
Tender.
Okay.
Tender?
Like
Matt-
this, like on this?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Not
like
like,
swiping.
ooh.
No, I wasn't feeling tender, but I was on the tender, and I matched with her. Honestly, no offense, it was kind of an accident.
It's fine.
But you know what? I kind of just put it aside, and then I get a text a little later. It was like, "Hey, you don't happen to work at Trader Joe's, do you?" Never answered. I was just like, "Oh, delete."
What's amazing is that I think I know who you're talking about. Like, I don't know who she is.
Yeah.
But, like, I remember seeing her as we walked in. And, like, you had a story, like, Wilmington's not a big city. Like,
No.
we work in a very high-profile, like, magnet for the region.
Yeah, especially for UNCW.
Especially for UNCW.
Yeah.
And, just, we have these funny little, like, oh, yep, seen you before. Oh, yep, hey, cool, you're a student, or whatever.
Yeah.
You didn't work yesterday, did you?
Nope.
Okay. So it's easy.
I was not there for Horny Monday.
Generally easier to survive Horny Monday if you're not at Trader Joe's and maybe at the beach. I imagine the beach.
I was in class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There wasn't anyone in class yesterday.
It's because they were all horny, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the parking lot was half full yesterday. I was like, these kids still on spring break or what?
Yeah. I mean, I bet a lot of people were still returning yesterday.
Losers. You're paying for class. Go to class, kids.
You know what? As nerdy as it is, I do agree with that take. You're paying for class. You should.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of kids. I'm not even, it's just too infuriating.
This is amazing.
These stupid kids.
All right, gentlemen. I think we might be, rolling to our decrescendo.
Yeah,
We're
wrapping
nearing
things up.
maturity rate, just like a bond.
There it is. Jackson, I guess, is learning some
I learned something.
stocks and bonds
We're
out here.
maturing. Talking about coming out of my teenage years, talking about 20s and 30s.
There it
20,
is.
23, 32.
Yes, indeed.
We're on all different levels.
Oh
but
wow, you're
at the
my
same
big
time,
universe.
we're all on the same level.
Exactly.
We're just hanging out
We're just crew members of Trader Joe's.
We're just hanging out. We're taking it day by day
on the Potty Talk
on the potty talk.
with
In
the gritty
gritty
fish,
Yeah.
Gritty fish, gritty
Yep.
groves.
all the above.
Got
In
the
the
green.
UNCW library.
Yeah.
Expansion coming soon. Buy it when you can.
Yeah. The expansion's going to be sexy. They're like doubling the library. Anyway, y'all.
Pretty big already, honestly.
Pretty big. Let's roll Feng Swap. Catch you next time, y'all.
Peace and love.